Hey everyone on Facebook land. Tonight I am joined by two of our speakers for our Ogden, Utah conference that's coming up on January 28th. And I'm so pleased to have them be not just speakers, but also vendors and contributors and sponsors of this event. I want to tell you a little bit more about this event that we're talking about tonight. For those of you who can't attend the conference live for whatever reason, I still wanted you to be able to get to know them and be able to participate in the fun and get in on all the good stuff. So here's the link for the conference. You're welcome to go ahead and just click right on that link, and it will take you to the details. The first 10 people who join us live who would like to be able to attend, who do not yet have tickets, I have tickets for you. All you have to do is send me an email. And I'm going to go ahead and put my email up on the screen here for you as well. Our first speaker up that we're going to have joining us is Candice Mallicoat. Candice is somebody who is going to be teaching classes at this conference about meditation. And for those of you who've been wanting to get into meditation more, or you've been wanting to learn more about how that works and how you can get better at it, better meaning that it's working better for you, however your intention is for it, right? Then I would highly recommend that you come to her class. So there's my email up across the screen. If you have not yet got your tickets and you would like to join us, if you'd like to attend, you can definitely do that. So I want to tell you a little bit about Candice, and then we're going to go ahead and bring her on tonight. She is the founder of Luminous Warriors. Candice helps you tap into your intuitive gifts through a meditative style, bringing ancient wisdom to your modern life. You will learn how to connect deeply with your higher self and your higher power to discover your life and soul purpose. Meditation is the seat of your personal power and is an easy skill to learn. Candice's annual immersion conferences bring together a host of talented healers to teach you skills that make your spiritual awakening more powerful. Annual rewilding, I think that's how you say it, women's retreats guide you through a process of undemystification. Hopefully I said that right, for a fuller and more rich feminine life. Her class is going to be at 2 p.m. that day. So if you would like to be able to participate in that class, please let us know. Some of the benefits of meditation include finding inner peace, building confidence, and youthful skin. Yes, even youthful skin. Overcome meditation challenges, because maybe sometimes your mind won't stop racing, or you don't have time, or you don't know how, or you're worried about attracting negative energies or anything like that. So some of the things that she'll be covering is how to make meditation easy. Please welcome and please join in welcoming with me, Candice Mallicoat. Hey friend, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you this evening?
I'm actually doing really good. I'm glad to hear it. I have kids in the background and all that good stuff. So I might pipe off a time or two, just turn it clear over to you, but that's okay. I love the owl in the background and some of the fun things that you have there. This is going to be your first time speaking for us, so I'd love to have you spend a little bit more time introducing yourself and also your topic as well, and telling us about your conference as well.
Okay. So I grew up in Utah and I have been married for 18 years. I have 3 children, 2 of which are still at home. I like hiking, UFC, karaoke. I like to read, but I tend to have so many spinning plates in the air, and they're not books. They're not spinning books. They're spinning plates. So, but I do like to read self-help and fantasy, science fiction. So there's a snippet of just who I am outside of, all the business and what I do for my family and all that. So I grew up here in the Valley, and I watched my dad meditate, and he would read books that were like so complex. And he always wanted me to try to understand what these books were saying. And he followed the rishis, which are gurus in India. So he would read these books from these rishis, and he was just fascinated by it. And I just kind of watched him, right? I sometimes had to listen to some of his audio tapes in the car about different mindset and meditation things. So those were the seeds that were planted when I was very young, probably under 10. And then I became a young adult and I really liked developing my intuition. I did some yoga and I started tapping into my own personal journey there. And I continued to actually follow some of these readers. I know some of you are familiar with Deepak Chopra, and I have the fortune of going to one of his events and being able to get a book signed and meet him in person. But eventually, as I got older, Deepak Chopra moved more into the spiritual Indian Ayurvedic practices. And so, because he was a doctor, he was an MD here in the United States and a doctor of Ayurveda, and then he moved more into the spiritualism. And so when I became a young adult, I finally was like realizing, that my dad was teaching me some pretty cool things. And so I just, continued to develop my practice in my own way. I was busy. I was a single mom for a while. And then in 2011, my body contracted Lyme disease through a tick bite. And my entire world turned upside down. I believe that there still is to this day, as of yet, an undiagnosed mental illness that I've had since I was a teenager, be it autism or, ADHD or, one of the other laundry lists of things. And because I've never really understood kind of myself in some ways. I'm like, there's just all these like intense and extremes, and I'm highly intuitive and psychic as well. And so, but what Lyme disease did was bring out all of that, every imbalance I had mentally, and it was my household was abusive. I was verbally abusive to my family because I was yelling all the time and just screaming and swearing, and my brain chemistry was changing. So it was like a whole lot, not just getting sick, but then all of that extra darkness on top of it. And I had one day I looked in the mirror and realized that I could be sick for a really long time. And if I felt and continued to feel the way that I felt emotionally and mentally about what was my body was dealing with, that it would ruin my life. I'd seen illness take over people's lives before that I love, that I now no longer and can be in relationship with, because it is such a very dark thing and negative thing. And, sending them love from afar, of course. But I finally realized that I had nothing to lose, and I wanted to believe in all of the magic that I ever did as a kid. And I wanted to dive into my meditation practices. I had a great foundation laid already. And I did. I dived in, and it saved my life more than once. And it taught me to manage my pain levels. It taught me to awaken to my spirit, my soul that's inhabiting this body. And I'm excited to talk more about where that actually is in the body that I believe it is anyway. But on the 28th, at the event, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that and how we connect to that. But it was, I started to have these beautiful spiritual, intuitive, and even psychic experiences that I can't even explain to you in words how beautiful that they were and profound for my life. And my relationship with my higher power was so strong and so clear. And then I really learned how it was helpful and wanted to teach other people. But then I noticed that there were 5 common myths, really, or challenges that people have with meditation. The first one is my mind is too busy. I can't stop my mind from racing. I can't meditate. Right? That's probably the most common. If that's you, definitely comment. It's okay. No shame in this game. The second one is not having enough time. And again, that is not, there's just blow that out of the water. You have the time, and I can show you how. Super easy. Trust me. Very, very easy. Then I always have these memorized because I talk about them a lot, and then I'm on the spot, and then I'm always afraid I'm not going to remember them. But the third one is that I don't know how, like not even knowing what to do in that space, right? So I need to write these down. Mind and how and time. Okay. And then, if there is, the other one is that sometimes people get nervous. So number 3, 4 is they're nervous because they think that, once they go into that space, what kind of energies are they going to attract? Is it dangerous? Or even like when nothing happens. And again, that is something that I have never, ever, ever, ever seen in my 45 years of life. When someone goes in and meditates, that it's a bad thing. I've never seen a demon come in, as if you believe in that kind of a thing. I've never seen, someone just have a complete, breakdown. I mean, breakdowns, yes, happen, but I mean, like I don't know how I'm trying to put that into words, but it's like it's not bad. It can be work. It can be some work sometimes, right? Emotional work. But as far as like other energies or more negative energies, it just doesn't happen unless you want to call that into your space. But I know that none of us are willingly going to play in that space, right? And choose evil intent, right? So and I literally cannot remember the 5th one now. Anyway, it'll probably come to me, but these are the common things. In fact, I still have yet to hear somebody come up with something new that I could tackle and show them that there's a different way. I don't want to say that they're wrong, right? But but there's so much flexibility in meditation and what I can teach. So that's what I'm going to be diving into on the 28th, and we're going to have some fun, and I'm excited for the VIP. The VIP bags are going to have little mini meditation kits, which are fun. It's the first time I put these together, so you guys get to sample that. And then my event that's coming up is Immersion. Immersion is in Lehigh near Thanksgiving Point, March 3rd and 4th. It's a 2-day conference, really intimate crowd of about 100 people, and we have a lot of fun, and we create a lot of good energy and healing and abundance in that space. So, Cami, there you go.
That is so fun. Well, I've just been like sharing what we're doing in these other groups and whatnot, people who've been expressing interest and wanting to meet you. So I'm so excited about that. And so tell us a little bit more about what you're going to be having at your vendor space, because there's over 70 vendors now booked. And in fact, I think we just sold out. Kathy was like, I need to go mark sold out on the conference website. So we have a huge plethora of options that people can go and have these self-care experiences and shop and whatnot. What are you going to be having there, and how would you like them to connect with you? Like who would really benefit from that?
Okay. Yeah, I'm still working on some of the strategy for the booth, because there's so much I could do, right? But people tell me I have to simplify. So and I do. I tell myself that, because keep it simple, sweetie, right? You just want to kiss it and keep it simple. So I always have some kind of an interactive game there. I will have a game where you can pull an intuitive message off the board. Some of them are winners, some of them, not necessarily. And you get an intuitive message for the day, which is kind of cool. Honestly, my table's going to have just some free swag, because anyone who registers with my link gets, you can come and tell me who you are and that you've done so. And there's an extra gift for you, a thank you gift for registering under my link. There will be prizes for the game. There will also be gifts with purchase. So a couple of the services I'm offering, if you opt in to any of those, there will be gifts of purchase for that. And we may have some like oracle cards that you could look at potentially getting as a gift with purchase or for sale. And then we did this at the last event that I attended, and I have a set of Kashi chimes, and it's really beautiful. I know sometimes in a vendor space it gets really loud, but these little chimes, there's 4 of them, and if you want to, I can hold them right up against your ears, and it just enlivens your senses, even with all of the busy going around. And so that's kind of fun too. But I'll actually have a couple of helpers there. They are current friends and clients of mine too. So if you really want like some love and encouragement and inspiration for your day, yeah, come and visit the Luminous Warriors, because we are super bright and we're fierce, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. So I haven't ever been to your event, and I'd love to hear more about that as well. And if people are interested in registering for that, because maybe they live closer to Utah County and they just really vibe with your message and what you're about, where can they find out about that? I was going to grab the link and put that in the comments for people as well, so they can find out more about that. And then
Yeah.
you can go ahead and share a little bit more about that. That'd be great.
Hey, Tammy, do you want me to put it in this chat right here for StreamYard?
Yeah, or I can just
You can
type
grab it.
it as you're telling me. Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess it's a nice little short link. So it's Mystic, MYSTIC dot sale, SALE / immersion, IMMERSION, mystic.sale / immersion. And there's a 25% off
I got it.
early bird. You got it?
Yeah, I got it. So you guys can click right on this link to learn more. That's awesome. Okay, I'll let you keep talking about it. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm glad you got it. I feel like with all the M's and S's, unless I spell it, there's just that margin of error, right? It's hard to hear. But okay, there's an early bird, 25% off any ticket level through the end of January. So that's actually going to be one of your best deals if you want some of the higher. There's 3 ticket levels, and so the highest one, it's probably the best deal. If you know any of the speakers or the vendors, please feel free. The vendors are all the way at the bottom of the page, and then you can, the speakers are at closer to the top. But if you know any of them, reach out, because they have some other discounted tickets to give a general admission and stuff. So we've got different price levels for tickets. And if you want to support any of those speakers that you see, because you might know them too, or the vendors, please come. It is such a loving event. And my stage that I created, which, well, I guess I didn't, my husband did. We actually literally built a stage because this venue didn't have one to offer. So I was like, I want to speak on stages. I'm going to host my own event, and then realized I needed my own stage. So yes, it is for rent for anyone. We can break it down small or big. Just a fun fact. It's kind of cool. But really, it's to introduce healers and energy workers and magic people who are spreading their message. They want to be able to invest in themselves, to dig in and build those relationships at this event, for people who are on a spiritual journey, a spiritual awakening. And that that looks different. That can be some energy healing. I like Tammy's events because there's a lot of things I can look at that will help my physical health too, and my mental health. It's not all like just the spiritual piece, right? Mine is a little bit more of the spiritual piece. We do have some healers. We've had some chiropractic and massage come before, but it is an intimate event. Everyone is in the room together. I think there's only 8 actual product vendors, and then all the other vendor tables are the speakers that have opted in. And we're just having fun together for 2 days. And it's amazing how quick you can build relationships in that kind of space. And so, we really build on the meditation practice, getting that solid. What does that look like? Sometimes we talk about the shadow work and the emotional side of, the dark side of light work, because that's something that I see that's needed in the community, is getting in and being willing to talk about the ugly, right? Like me just casually saying, oh, I was a verbal abuser when I had Lyme disease with my family. There are some people out there that would probably just maybe cringed when they heard me say that. Maybe that triggered something in you for some reason, but I feel that transparency and that vulnerability is super, super important. And so, because we're all dealing with all kinds of levels of trauma, drama, and illness, right? To some degree. And so it's really fun to come and make these close-knit relationships. Like I said, we can only fit about 100 people in the space, and we usually do fill out pretty quickly. I have a couple of speaker spots still available and 1 vendor spot. So if anybody is actually looking to be a part of and help sponsor this event, we can chat about that too. But yeah, we have fun. And I do sound healing with my voice, and I do a certain kind of singing, but I'm actually going to be performing on stage for the first time. And I have to say it to the masses so that I'll follow through with it. But we're going to have fun. March 3rd and 4th.
Dude, I'm so excited. That sounds so awesome. I have to tell you about this one experience I had. I went in to a day spa and I actually had a freaking migraine. It was a really bad. Oh, it was just hurting so bad. And I went in there and I told the massage therapist, I didn't know her. I had never met her before. And I said, is it too weird if I ask you to turn the lights off all the way? You know how like when you have a really bad headache, any light like can hurt your head, like worse. And she's like, no, that's fine. So she turned off the light. And then I said, like, my head's hurting so bad. I said, my grandma used to sing to me. Would you be open to singing to me? And she was like, my name is Melody. And I'm like, are you serious? And I said, serious right now? And she's like, yeah. So she goes, and I know Sanskrit. And she started singing to me, and I could feel the sound waves affecting me. Like my headache was gone so quickly. Like people don't realize how much sound can actually be so healing. And I've never forgotten that experience. She didn't know who I was. I didn't know who she was. And yet there we were in this beautiful, magical moment in the dark of all places while she sang to me. So I am so excited that you're going to do this in front of a group of people. Are you nervous to do that?
Yes and no. For me now, it's more like adrenaline than fear because I've done a ton of karaoke. So and so it's like it's been a while, but I'm pretty used to it. But it's a newer song. It's mostly the timing, like like getting in because it's kind of weird. I come in on the ninth measure and so that throws me off. It's a little long, and so that's really the one thing I'm worried about. But I love what you said about getting rid of your headache because I have really been starting to develop the sound healing portion of it the last year and a half. And the last 2 times I've done it, people who have constant chronic pain had told me, hey, it went away for hours. Hours. Amazing. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? That's like unbelievable and amazing all at the same time. And, and so, yeah, I love it. It's part of my gift. And this is what I've done as a business owner. I'm like, what are all my passions? And can all of them kind of mesh together? And if they can't, then I'll still try to make sure I have time for the other things over here, right? But most of the time, I find as business owners, we can usually bring all of our purpose and all of our passions and mix them into what we're already doing. And so, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I don't know if there's any massage therapists that are on right now, but if somebody came into your room and asked you to turn off the lights and sing to them, what would you do right now? Like, I'm like, oh, do I like admit that? Like, I was so embarrassed to ask her, but I just felt like that I really needed that. Anyway, I just know how much healing can be there. And so what kind of sound do you also bring to what you do, this component of your business?
Yeah, I've been working on building my instrument collection, and so we have some drums and sound bowls. We have the chimes. We have our little frog. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, you experienced the chimes.
They're amazing.
The little wooden frogs. We have a rain drum. We have a thunder drum. And honestly, yeah, I'm glad you're mentioning it because my husband and I want to play. Like we played a little bit, we borrowed instruments, but and most of the time it's good when it comes in the moment and things just work out and they flow. So I try not to stress, rehearsing or anything like that. But we just got all these new toys for Christmas, but everything is still kind of a Christmas mess, if I want to be honest. And we haven't played hardly any of our instruments yet. So I definitely am going to have to do that before immersion in March. So
it's so neat. Well, Kathy and I were just talking about how cool it would be to have some sound healing happen at the end of the day. But we decided to not put it on the schedule because we're like, you know what? It always comes together and it always just is really beautiful when it's organic. And so I don't know if you have room in your vehicle, but that'd be really fun to even have that kind of happen at the end of the day. It's like this beautiful signature part of the day where kind of all like, it's like a bookend. Do you know what I mean? Like it all just comes together. So beautiful. So one of the other things that we have at the end of the day is the Reiki gathering for any of the Reiki masters, practitioners, students, people who want to learn more about Reiki. That's all happening also from 6 to 7 p.m. Now, let's see, your class is happening at 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to ask you, like, if somebody is interested in your class, do they have to fit into a certain type of a box? Are you looking for people who maybe haven't meditated before, people who want to learn more about meditating or want to improve? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, really anybody who has never done it and wants to try but doesn't know where to start. Anyone who, gosh, you guys, sorry, like my face is so bright. I'm like, I'm using, there we go. I don't need that extra light. And then, those that have tried and failed, there is no failing. I'll talk about that too. But those that feel like they can't do it for whatever reason, like, oh, every time I sit down, this happens or that happens, or, because the thing is, my specialty, number one, is customizing the meditation you need. I can teach over 3 dozen types of meditations and how to incorporate those into your day. Yeah, I'm not obviously going to give you that much, right? In 1 hour, holy cow, it takes a while. But I do have a program coming up in March where it's more lengthy and you get to learn all of these. But that's part of the reason is the technique I think most people struggle with. And then if you have a particular issue like falling asleep when you meditate or when your mind is racing, because I have a lot of clients who have a lot of attention deficit and they have found so much help with meditation. So people with sensory issues as well, neurodivergence, really enjoy a few of the meditations that I've got to start them on, because then once they kind of handle that energy, it helps open doors for other type of work. And I'm telling you guys, I don't know where your belief level is on any of this, but I know I can go into that space, and there's stuff I do specifically with my energy or with my imagery, and I make stuff happen in the outside world with doing nothing but meditating on it. And that's powerful. That is, to me, that's modern magic. That is the manipulation of energy. It's bringing order it's order to the chaos, right? And so being able to open up to be able to access those abilities, again, can save your life. It can bring a lot of abundance. And so, if you've been meditating for a while but it's kind of just blah, and you want to switch it up and you just feel like that there's more, that's also what this class could be really good for too. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, one of the final comments I wanted to just make about that is that I kind of consider like ADD like my superpower or whatever. You know what I mean? I have 8 children, busy business, definitely been like a homeschool mom for 15 years. I don't homeschool currently, but I did for a long time. And I am telling you what, like, I love that I can do so many things and go from here to here to here. But when I meditate, it feels like it resets my brain. Do you feel like that too? Like that it's just a complete reset?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And in fact, that's why I prefer to do it in the morning, because it sets up my whole day. Everything goes much more smooth when I have even 5 minutes to be able to do that before I open my door and face the world. But yes, it is a reset because you're also calming your central nervous system too. So
That's
you
awesome.
feel it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I know that like there's places like PubMed and the Mayo Clinic that literally there's so much documentation about physical and emotional and mental benefits of meditation. So I'm so excited for your class, for people who are wanting to really like tap into that and they've just never learned how. Are you going to be doing any sort of meditation in the class?
Yes. I will definitely give a couple of examples and samples, because another specialty of mine, yes, I can walk you through amazing meditations, but my goal is to give you the skills for you to go home and replicate it. Because how many times have you gone and sat and done this, amazing meditation, right? How many times have you actually done that again by yourself? Probably not very often, right? We go to an event, we come home, we attend an event online, and then we go back to our day. We're like, oh, that was lovely, and then so that's what I want. My class is highly class workshop like, rather, you know what I mean? I'm like, I want to give you a great experience too, but that's my passion and purpose, is to give you a toolbox.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Well,
and you
I'm
know what? I do want to say, for any of the skeptics out there, if there is any, I mean, obviously if people are coming to this event, I feel like they're pretty open,
no,
but
there's
I've done a lot of research. Been following research on meditation. It really hasn't, there hasn't been a lot up until, you know, maybe about 10 years ago, things started kicking back up and they were taking it seriously at the Ivy League, you know, schools and things. But I've written a lot of my college papers. Every business paper that I can write on meditation, I have done, and it is. I'm going to share some of the really cool things with you guys too. So, because I know when you start talking to people out in the real world, right, your family and friends that maybe are into this kind of stuff, and if they're skeptical, there's science that you can back up some of this energy work that you're doing. So
yeah, that's awesome. Well, I just wanted to take just a moment here to recognize Ariel's comment here. She says, I'm really looking forward to these events. I meditate frequently and I'm always looking forward to leveling up my practice. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer a year and a half ago, and am at a stage of deep healing now. Looking forward to connecting. Well, I'm so excited to have you coming to our event as well, Ariel. That's going to be really amazing to have you joining us. And I would love to just send some good vibes your way. Seriously, thank you for coming and for your inspiration as well in your comment. I appreciate that.
yeah, come and say hi. If you haven't registered yet, you can use my link if you need to. But I'll remember. I just Ariel and Deep, and then I thought of the mermaid. So if you come and say hi, I'll remember who you are.
That's awesome. Okay, very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Candice. We'll see you at the conference.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. She's awesome. That was so fun. That was really cool to be able to interview her and ask her all those fun questions and to be able to learn more about her stuff as well. I know for myself, you guys, I've talked about like how I had a brain injury back in March. And I'm telling you what, I don't even know how I would have made it through literally without meditation. So it has been so valuable. And I'm always looking for ways to up level and kind of change it up, especially because I like variety and I like change myself. So Ariel, I'll probably be right there with you. That's so cool. Well, we're ready for our next spotlight speaker. This is Joy Beck. I'm going to go ahead and bring her right onto the screen. And let's see here. I'm actually, first of all, I'm going to read her intro. Okay, Joy Beck is the creator of Joyful Options. Joy is a dedicated mother of 4 amazing kids, 2 daughter-in-laws, and 2 darling grandsons. Joy is certified in several healing modalities, including certified body code and emotion code practitioner and advanced energy wellness. She offers harmonic light therapy and foot zoning, and Joy specializes in emotional release and chakra balance. As a teacher of littles for 27 years, one of her superpowers is teaching kids how to recognize and embrace their greatness. Joy is a lifelong learner and sprinkles sunshine wherever she goes. That is absolutely 100% true. Joy enjoys hiking, making connections, traveling, and meditation. I didn't know you like to hike. Joy, I'm going to have to go hiking with you. That's going to be so much fun. How are you, my friend? Welcome.
Great. How are you?
So good.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful night. I'm so excited about what you're going to be talking about as well. Your topic for the conference is joy-centered healing for the whole family. Yes. And tell us a little bit about how you got into this. Tell us a little bit about also like what's your passion? Like where does that stem from? And then I know you have some fun giveaways for everybody that's on here tonight as well. So I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and talk about some of that. I'll be right here though.
Good. So hopefully I sent the links the right way so that she has them to put on the site. So my name is Joy Beck, and I have been into energy work probably, it seems like forever, probably not quite forever, but I grew up really holistically. I grew up on a farm. We did everything natural. My mom, when I was in high school, my mom was able to learn reflexology from a local naturopath. And I was just intrigued by it. Like I love doing things like that and learning about oils. So I had learned as much as she'd show, right? And just practiced. And one of my love languages is physical touch. So that worked out really well for me. And I was able to just kind of play with that for a little bit. And I came across the emotion code and body code, actually foot zoning first, which goes off of reflexology. So that I was really intrigued by that. And I was thrilled to be able to learn that. I wanted to learn that because I was going to someone, but it's kind of hard to do your own piggies, right? And so I wanted to be able to zone my kiddos' feet when they needed it, right? Because sometimes, like in the middle of the night or early in the morning, no one wants to really meet you then, right? And so I wanted to be able to help my own kiddos when they needed it. And I knew I could learn it. It seemed like a logical thing for me to learn. So I was able to do that. And then I came across the emotion code and body code system that Dr. Bradley Nelson had created. And that resonated really well with me. Having gone through along my journey, I've been a single mama twice, and trying to heal and to be able to move forward. And traditional therapy was really good about bringing it all up, but not so good with getting rid of it or releasing it. Not so much getting rid of it, releasing it so that you can move forward. And the process that Dr. Bradley Nelson had created works really well for me and hundreds of others that I've been able to help with releasing trauma. But what I love the best is by the time I came across that system, I had from like an 8-year-old to teenagers and to almost adults. And I knew that in the things I'd learned, that was probably the least invasive, simple way to be able to help find imbalances and then release them. And I knew that my kiddos would be more receptive to that than to telling me all the right? And so I learned that as well. And then as Tammy said, I am a teacher. Actually, this is my 28th year teaching. And one of the things that I've always done is gravitated towards learning more things and things that would help me and mine. Learned on that you can't really get everything and know everything, but that's why we have each other. So we can learn. If Tammy has stuff, I've taken classes from Tammy a ton because I see the value in that. And that's really, really helped me. And it's really helped my family as well. So that's kind of the background behind that. And I have loved it and been able to help people. My son was like, hey, you're going to zone my feet tonight? I'm like, no, not tonight. Sorry, a little busy. So even my own kiddos still will go, hey, they'll prop up their feet and go, I think you need to do my feet next, right? And so that's always nice because it makes it, in a way, it validates the mama in me that what I learned has added value to those that are near and dear to me. I am really privileged to be able to speak, and I call it teaching more than speaking because that's just what I do. At next Saturday at the Ogden Energy Healing Conference down in Ogden, and my title of my class is Joy-Centered Healing for the Whole Family. So I share about the emotion code and body code system because that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about. I also love sharing and gathering and have that interaction with the crowd to get ideas for being able to be balanced and being able to add joy. Like what kinds of things work for you? What kinds of things does your family do? I might not do them yet. And so it's always fun to gather and have that exchange of energy and have that exchange of great ideas. I kind of call it the gathering of great ideas because who can have enough, right? And sometimes one will work and then sometimes something else will work. And that's why we want to learn more. So I get to speak at 10 o'clock on next Saturday, and I'm super excited. The other thing I love about Tammy's conferences is I probably almost for the last at least 2 years, I offer mini sessions when I'm not speaking, right? And so I will have up a chair and I offer the mini foot zones as well as mini body code sessions. And they're just 20 minutes. And it's a screaming deal, $40 to be able to have that experience. If you've never had a foot zone, they're lovely. I love them. I love getting them. And truthfully, I love giving them too. And then the body code sessions are really simplistic as well. And you can take notes from it, or you can just enjoy the process. In my class, I explain what that process is just a little bit more. And whether you are an old pro at it or whether you're brand squeaky new at energy work, I'm really good at just explaining that process and explaining what's going on and how that works and how Dr. Brad's system works. So I'm excited to share that. I'm excited because tonight if she has it right, if I gave it to her right, let's be honest, I am going to, today is Wednesday, by Sunday, I'm going to give a little bit of time for people who can't be on right now, because I am one of those people, if it's during the day, I always have to watch it at night. So I like to give that leeway time for people. I'm going to choose 3 people to win a mini body code session that will happen. We'll get it within the next 2 weeks. And I'm going to choose from today. You can enter in today, and there's a link to enter for the mini body code session. And I'm going to choose 3 peeps that are going to get a free complimentary session. And I also do that at the conference too. So that's kind of fun. But I wanted to give kind of like a teaser beforehand for those that might. Now, I've had some who every time I do this, they put in for it. And I keep thinking, well, you've already done it. And then I think, oh yeah, that's because it's effective. Why not try it? Why not have a chance to win? So that's one of the things that's going to be on the link. And I did send, but I don't know if it went all the way through right before I ran to do a school meeting. I do have another thing that I'm creating. I'm super excited about, mainly because it's near and dear to me. So one of the things I am in the process of creating, and it will be available after Valentine's Day, is I have a series of pre-recorded videos about single mama tips. Okay. And no, you can be a single dad. I just like to say single mamas because that's what I have been twice, and I'm back at it. So along the way, I have had from a newborn and a 4-year-old. That was my first round, right? Made it through that and all of the navigating that happens. And then I also, the second go around, I had from about 8 years old to teenagers, right? And so that was something that was a little different. Truthfully, it was much easier the second round. I learned a few things, right? And along the way, I also learned, because I'm a teacher and I've taught kindergarten to 6th grade, and then I've had my own children who have gone through the whole system, my last being a sophomore. Now, I have learned things that worked really well. I've learned things that really flopped. I've done really, I think, some okay things along the way. I've also probably biffed it a couple of times, let's be honest. But as that learner, I'm always trying to learn and change and evolve. And so between my own choices and my own life, and then seeing other families as parents that I've taught and kiddos and their responses and how it affects kids and how it affects the parents and how to help with that communication, Have I always done it right? Oh, mercy, no. But I try. And I'm really good at owning my own junk. And I'm really good at teaching kids to own their own junk. And I'm pretty good at actually trying to help the other person to help that communication roll just a tad better. Because at the end of the day, the kids are where we want that focus to be. And we want it to be as joyful, and let's be honest, it's never joyful completely, but it doesn't have to suck all the time. It can be all right. And it can actually, you can find those happy moments. So
I just love what you said. It doesn't have to suck all the time. That just made me giggle. I was a kid of a single mom as I was growing up. My mom was married and divorced also several times. And I went to 19 different schools before I graduated. So we moved around a lot. Right. And my heart goes out to anyone who finds themselves in a situation like that. But you seriously are so fun. And when you your name is Joy, but you bring the joy like nobody's business, and you have fun with things, and you have all these really good ideas, like solutions to help people through different things. So I'm super excited that you are feeling really passionate about putting this together, and it is going to be so awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you, Ariel. She's saying she likes my eyeshadow. Oh,
it is pretty. You can't see it through my glasses. It's like either that or I'm blind, and then I can't see anyway. So
you're good. But I'm so excited. So we went ahead and we put the link in the comments. Yes. For those of you who are watching this on the replay, if you can't find it, I want you to still be able to get a hold of Joy. So Joy, what's your email, just in case they want to connect with you and they can't get in on these links for whatever reason?
It is joyfuloptions@gmail.com. Super simple.
Joyfuloptions@gmail.com. Okay, I'll go ahead and put that down also in the comments for those people who are watching this on the replay as well. All right, you guys, I'm so excited. I want to ask Joy just a couple more questions about, so if somebody hasn't had a foot zone before and they haven't had a body code, one of the things they can do when they get to the conference is they can go and find your booth, and there'll be a sign-up sheet there, right?
Yes.
You can sign up as well. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
You'll want to do that because they kind of fill up pretty fast. And there's lots of different things, and most vendors have that. But yes, I will have the time slots minus the one that I'm teaching. And then I'm that learner. I might have another one or two slashed out that I'm going to go to a class because
there's some really good classes. I'm excited.
There's some amazing teachers there. Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right. Awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we're done today?
Just that if you are one that's in the replay, the reason I'm not choosing today isn't for any other reason than I know how it is. I'm usually that person that watches your Facebook lives on the replay. And then I'm like, oh, but I wanted that, right? Because I tend to do everything with a little excitement. And so I wanted to give some sign-up time. Okay. And if there's a huge thing, I don't know, I've done up to 5, but I'm going to do 3 for right now and go with it and just kind of roll. The other thing is the thing for the single mama survival tips. That is more of just to gather that information, and I'll get that information to you. But I wanted to offer that up so you could have a chance.
Awesome.
And see what and I would love your input. I would love to see how, I'll follow up. I'm kind of one of those people. I want to know how you're doing. I want to know what worked, what didn't, because I've probably either seen it, lived it, survived it. And at the end of the day, like the whole thing, when I said it doesn't suck, you can survive. Who wants to just survive? It's like hanging on by the bare. You want to be able to thrive. And not all moments are happy. Guess what? Even if you're happily married, not all moments are happy. Let's be honest. But they can be better. You can look and you can teach your kids how to find that happy. It's a habit.
That's awesome. Well, we've got some people that are entering already, and that is
good.
a
Yay.
lot of fun. I'm so excited. I know that when I have something that is off with me, Joy is one of my energy healing practitioners that I go to. I know if you're not really familiar with emotion code or body code, Dr. Bradley Nelson has written a book actually about each one of those. The body code just barely came out for those of you who haven't seen that. And it was, my husband read the whole book. That's a big deal. I read parts of it. I muscle tested through it. I haven't read the whole thing, I have to admit. He's probably going to kill me if he watches this and sees that. But,
no, it's called tuck and roll, baby. It's all good.
But it's really good. And I have had a lot of success with the information that I've used in it. I've even had some of my aunts that live outside of state that I don't see or know very well have reached out to me and said, have you read this book? There's really good stuff in here, I'm like, yes, I have. I'm working on it right now.
That's fantastic.
But they have had some really, really cool stuff going on there. So, well, one of the other things I just wanted to mention for those of you who have not been to our energy healing conference, right now we have over 500 people registered, and it will continue to go. I bet that will be double by the end of the week. That's how fast these tickets roll in at the end. Our VIP tickets, I was told earlier, we have 5 left.
Wow.
So I know, and we even extended it a little bit. So we have 5 left of those. All of the vendor spots are completely sold out. This is going to be a really awesome event. I'm very excited about it. And
so Tammy, can I share something?
Please do.
So and you'll know because your brain is amazing this way. My very first conference I ever went to, and I am certain I saw it on Facebook, right? And I went, oh, that looks good, right? Because I'm kind of a squirrel. And I went to one in Pocatello, like at least 3 years ago. And I drugged 2 of my girlfriends along with me. And I'm like, oh, we're paying for VIP because we can sit up close. I don't have to, I don't have to fuss about where I'm going to sit or whatever. Because sometimes those rooms, like they pack them in, like it's crazy. It's some good stuff. And it was worth it. Like it was so great. And that was the beginning of what at least has been at least a 3 to 4 year journey so far.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. The meet and greet for the VIPs is also one of my favorites.
Yes.
I get to know everybody. I get to meet you, and we get to sit down or on some tables, share some food, and get to know each other before the conference even starts.
That's where I met you.
A lot of fun. Yeah, that's where we became friends, and you and I are really good friends. Like I'm texting you little gifts and stuff all the time, and pictures back and forth, and it's just a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed getting to know you.
Yes,
you're one of my favorite things about the conference.
Oh, I love the fact that I get to zone your kiddos' piggies. So that's one of my favorites.
It's so awesome. All right. So for those of you who are watching, if you don't have your tickets yet, my email is going on the ticker across the bottom. Please feel free to send me an email, and I will email you back within the next day or two, and I will get you your free link and actually get you registered for free. And by the way, Joy, we literally have sold more tickets at this event. I mean, it's going to be a rock and roll.
That is fantastic. It's so cool to have like-minded, and it's like a smorgasbord. It's better than Golden Corral. Thank you very much. Yep. And you get to just kind of pick what you want, and you can go, you can even be big and brave and come by yourself.
Lots of people
or
do.
Bring a friend. That's okay too.
Either way. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Okay, well, we'll see you guys there. Thank you so much for being on today. Appreciate you. See ya. Bye.
Bye.